Welcome to Rock Shop Talk. Our show talks best practices, fun anecdotes, and the latest cutting-edge technology in our field to kick your screen printing gears into hyperdrive. Today's episode features Women Rock the Women's Screen Printing Awards. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rock Shop Talk, your one-stop rock shop where we talk all things screen printing. We're here to discuss Women Rock the Women in Screen Printing Awards. And we're here with Marj Easterling of Big Lick Screen Printing. Hello. And Brandi Schieber of Downtown Threads. Iris Sautier of La Bourgeoise Serigraphie. Jessica Tillery of All Quality Graphics and the Love Unstoppable Movement. And Adrienne Palmer, editor-in-chief of Screen Printing Magazine. Hello, everyone, as well as our brand new rock star, Nicole Pape. Thank you for joining us on this incredible thing today. Thank you for being a part of this amazing thing that we did last month. And thank you for being on the show. Thank you for listening. Today, we just kicked off the ROQ Sahara, just debuted, formerly known as the ROQ Tunnel. And my friend Nicole here will tell you a few things about the ROQ Sahara conveyor dryer. And take it away, Miss Nicole.
Yeah, so the ROQ Sahara is our newly improved ROQ tunnel with an awesome insulation feature in our chamber. We've improved that so it's a lot quieter. Your heat is consistent throughout the entire process of your shirts going through the chambers. On top of that, it has extremely user-friendly, fresh new software where you're going to get, recipes that you can program for your poly inks, your water-based inks, your plastisol. You want to temp up, temp down. It's not going to be a problem. So the ROQ Sahara is really taking it to the next level as we do at ROQ. And we're really looking forward to getting that all out in the US.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And thank you for being your first episode of Rock Shop Talk. This is so exciting.
Thank you.
We had such a wonderful event last month at the Made Lab event, as well as the Impressions Expo Fort Worth, where we had the second annual Women in Screen Printing Awards. All winners here. Unfortunately, not all of them can join us today, but we salute all of you who won, as well as all of the nominees and all the women in our industry. Anyway, cheers to you. Thank you for being such a critical part of this bigger story. And we're nothing without you. And any way that we at ROQ and this community can support you, you're always welcome to let us know what specifically could benefit your life, your career, wherever we can fit into that. We're happy to get you all the resources we have access to. So thank you for being a part of these awards. Congratulations officially to all of you winners. And I wanted to give everybody a chance to go around the room here, kind of introduce yourself and talk about your journey, how you got into screen printing, where you started, where you are now, where you feel like you want to go next. So without any further ado, would you like to kick us off, Ms. Schieber?
I'm Brandi Schieber, and I have a screen printing shop in Oklahoma called Downtown Threads. I would say I have a non-traditional experience with screen printing. I purchased a building or a business that had been in business for 40 some years. So I bought an existing business, knew nothing about screen printing, nothing at all. I didn't even know what a screen was. So, and that was 3 years ago. So it's dramatically changed my life for sure. My husband and I would call us, some people say we're serial entrepreneurs, but I really found my home in screen printing. So I love what I do now. I own an insurance agency that I started from scratch. We owned a bakery, a donut shop business. But wow. Screen printing is, it's crazy. I look back at the last 10, 15 years and I'm just like, well, how did I get here? So it's been fun. It's been really crazy and really fun.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. All of you,
thank you
being
for having
here.
me.
Absolutely. All right. Iris.
Well, I think I am the only non-American in the group. So yay, I'm Canadian and I'm actually originally Swiss. I have a background in graphic design. So I studied graphic design in Switzerland and worked about 10 years in companies. And I was miserable. I just hated working with a computer all the time. So actually doing something by hand was really more what I was looking for. I've done some screen printing during my studies in graphic design. So I initially just rented a space just for myself, just for fun, and discovered that actually a lot of people close to me were very interested to take classes and had small projects. And that's how it's all started. Actually, I just did some little projects for my graphic design friends and the people I met. And then it eventually grew bigger, and I dropped completely graphic design and worked full time in my shop.
Very cool. That's a common theme that I hear a lot, that people just kind of fall into this by proxy of something else. But then it takes off like wildfire, and here you are, a winner of this award. That's so cool. All right. Jessica.
Hi guys. Good
hello,
to see
hello.
everybody. So my story is similar. I fell into this industry. Never in a million years did I think I'd be printing shirts for a living. My degree is actually in exercise physiology. So I did sports medicine the past decade of my life prior to getting into this. Been printing now for 8 years and absolutely love it. It's been a fun ride. My team is small but mighty. There's 12 of us and they're all badass. And it's a family, you know, just like the ROQ family. It's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot along the way and we've come a long way. So it's been very good to us. Recently, I am on fire for this new passion project, which is the Love Unstoppable movement. I feel like I've found my reasoning for falling into this industry. It is a subscription-based t-shirt model. So you get a shirt in the mail once a month. You don't know what it is. You don't know what color. You don't know what logo. You just know it's super powerful, super cool, and probably will be the best shirt in your closet, your favorite go-to shirt. So that's been amazing. It's faith-based, but it's non-religious. So our whole thing is just love everyone, be a good human. You know, it's about diversity and just really being good. We also have an environmental impact, which we use all made shirts exclusively. So we're making an impact there with the plastic bottles, as well as a humanitarian impact, since All Made's doing such a good job in Haiti and Honduras and all their socially responsible stuff. And then there's a charitable impact. So we give back a portion to a local charity in need or a family in need or somebody every single month. So it's just been a really cool project for us. It's also very community based. We try to get out, we educate kids on recycling. So we'll go out to the schools and talk to them about how if they recycle, that can be turned into a plastic or a t-shirt and all these cool things. And then also teach them about love and kindness. So that's been a great opportunity. We also try to partner up with local schools and do mentorships and get out and work with people suffering from addiction and just kind of build a community around this movement that can get out and do cool things. So doing all that through a t-shirt has been pretty impactful. So my kind of mantra for the whole movement and the whole 2 years for me now is it's not just a t-shirt. So it's been fun.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, cheers to that. Cheers to the mission of that. That's beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you to ROQ for all the support along the way. It's ROQ and All Made have been very supportive. So appreciate
it's
it.
our privilege. And thank you for allowing us to support that. All right. Miss Easterling.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Jessica, I love the stuff that you're doing over there. We do a lot of the same type of community stuff here with us. I fell into this industry as well. I have always had some sort of a side business because I'm a single mom. And I used to do those home parties for women. When my company was bought out, I went to a show and realized that everybody needed a shirt as a souvenir. And I was like, you know what, we should do this. So that's kind of how I fell into screen printing. I just kept having bad experiences with local printers and they wouldn't get it done right, or they would change my grammar that was correct to begin with or whatever. Anyway, so that's how we kind of fell into it. And it just has grown like by itself. We haven't really gone out of the way to make it grow bigger, but we do a lot of community outreach. In fact, hey, Stacy, come say hey. Come over here so they can see you. So Stacy is a friend of mine she's kind of like our shop elf. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to ROQ Shop Talk.
I know, right? So, she comes to hang out at the shop maybe once a week or so. She'll come and just chill out to have something to do. But
Nice.
do a lot of cool community outreach. We have a free print day that we do. We have a lot of stuff with local schools. So I love that theme. And I think that most women involved in this industry, that is a theme of their business. I mean, I could be wrong. Do you guys think that's kind of similar?
Totally. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I love that about this industry, and the supports that we have is phenomenal. It seems to me that this industry, we've really gone out of our way to help each other out. It's not a competition situation so much as a, the rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. But that's been my experience, and that's kind of how I fell into it.
That's awesome. Can you tell me more about the free print day? That's so cool.
Actually, I got the idea from a fellow screen printer, and on Small Business Saturday every year, we design a shirt, a print, and you can bring a brand new t-shirt and we will let you print it for free. Now, last year, we didn't let people print their own shirts. We printed it for them because of the COVID situation. Mm-hmm. But, and if you don't have a brand new shirt or don't bring one, then we get rid of all of our old inventory. So we have everything set up, and we'll just, sell our shirts for $5 or something, whatever we happen to have. So you can pick it out, and we have a dark print and a light print. So whichever one, and we let people print their own shirts, and it's just a way to have something cool for Small Business Saturday and build and do some Christmas or whatever. Right.
That's so rad. So
what? Awesome.
I have to ask what the Fairy Godmother thing is the coolest moniker I've heard in a real long time, and I need to hear the origin story before we move on.
What happened was I got tired of people asking me what my job title was, and I'm like, is it like president, or that's just stupid? You know what I mean? And it just doesn't, like, my favorite thing to do is make somebody else's day. And we really try to always go above and beyond in our business to, throw in that lanyap or that little extra or do something fabulous. So it's never about, like, we try to keep our customers for life. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, well, you're like a little fairy godmother. And I was like, oh, no, I'm a fairy goth mother. That's what it is. And that's kind of how it started. And so then I just keep adding to it. I've got the master adventurist or whatever. You know what I mean? It makes people pay attention.
Do you have a Fairy Godmother t-shirt?
I do not.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure that has to happen. And I'm happy to support that. And any way I can, I'll be the first customer. Love that. Tell all my friends.
Put some wings on the back.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Marj, so I'm interested, just one quick question. Your friend, Allison Banholzer, who is a fellow screen printer and a previous Women in Screen Printing Award winner from last year, she also does not have a title. When I asked her for a title, she's like, can you just make one up for me? I don't have one. So I'm curious if that's just randomly you both don't want titles, or if that's something that is based on gender, or if that's just something
honestly, I feel like there isn't a title there. They were too generic for me. Like, I'm not a generic person. I don't know if you can tell, but and not only that, but I also didn't feel like any of the traditional titles don't really encompass what we do. So for that reason, I just started making my own, and I'll just keep adding to it because nobody knows what I do better than me.
True that. I dig that. Very good. Well, Miss Palmer, tell us about you. Who are you?
Hi. I'm Adrienne Palmer. I am the editor-in-chief of Screen Printing Magazine, and I guess you could say that I fell into this as well. I've been the editor-in-chief, or I've been working with Big Picture Magazine in different roles, now editor-in-chief since 2012. And we did some restructuring with our company in 2019, and I became editor-in-chief of Screen Printing, even though it was in our brand of books and publications, and I'd been to a bunch of different bigger trade shows and conferences, I really didn't immerse myself too much into the industry. But now there's no turning back, because this is one of the coolest industries that I'm familiar with. And it's just been a great opportunity to come in here and learn about the technology, and most importantly, the people and the amazing things that you all are doing.
And you're doing an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
You're at the fresh air. It's just awesome to see the work you do.
Thank you.
You're here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Huge honor to collaborate with you, Adrienne, and I'm excited about where we're taking things into 2022. And it kind of scares me to say those words, but I feel way much better about it because you're a part of this, and I thank you for that. I applaud, commend, and humble gratitude your way. And thank you for being on the show. This third time? It's a second time? Second or third?
Maybe second or third. I don't know.
I think
we do so many.
Definitely. Yeah. You're definitely one of the few repeat guests, and I love having you on, and I'm going to keep having you on as long as you'll be a part of it. So thank you for that. And last but certainly never least, Nicole, tell us all about you. Tell us why we internally know why you're awesome, but tell all of our listeners, all of our viewers, who you are, where you came from, and why you rock.
Well, thank you for that quick intro, Merrill. That was awesome. I came from my mother, so that's good. But no, actually, I've been in the industry for about 15 years. Started manually printing. Actually, I started at a partner of Reebok's way back when in their customer service department. And I just kind of kept creeping over to the warehouse every day. You know, I was answering phones and doing my job, but I just found myself really intrigued by, I don't know if it was the guys, the presses. I'm pretty sure it was just the presses, to be honest with you. And so I would go back in there, and it just kind of organically formulated into like, hey, Nicole, do you want to work in the warehouse? Do you want to learn screen printing and vinyl and different parts? And I was going to school at UCSD at the time for visual arts, and it just sounded awesome. So yeah, transferred over into screen printing. And then, I mean, fast forward, I had my own live screen printing business, kind of like Marj, where it was DIY. In downtown LA, I would set up my 2 manual presses and a little art gallery on Thursday nights and put aprons on people and charge them a certain amount to come in and screen print their own shirts. And I would teach them how to push and pull, and, you know, are you a pusher or are you a puller? And we'd go over all of those kind of nuances of screen printing, and it was really fun. You know, I printed in my loft in downtown LA in a little small boutique for a while, until one day the operations manager, well, over 10 years ago, kind of found me at one of these gallery spaces, operations manager of Ryanette. And so he invited me to go to ISS Long Beach the next day and meet with Ryan. And so I got to go and meet Ryan more. And the next thing you know, I was the general manager of Ryanette's Los Angeles branch. So I did that for a little bit, and then sold my business, which was great, and kind of just transversed from there into contract printing. I worked with the MLB, NBA, NFL for years.
Cool.
And a lot of sports licensing, and up to, you know, running and being a managing partner with 14 autos, 108 heads of embroidery, 130 employees, and printing everything for the corporate tech market to sports licensing, fashion industry, all of that. So I have quite a, you know, good stepping stone background. And then I just recently joined the ROQ team, and I couldn't be more excited to be with a company that I feel so aligned with. It's been a long time being in the industry as a female, and a very male dominated industry. And I'm a short female, I'm 4'11". So I tend to have to, I tend to have to, you know, maybe I'm a little louder or a little bit more bold than people would like. I've been told to filter myself over the years. I've been told all sorts of things. But at ROQ, I feel really aligned with the culture. I feel really supported. And on top of that, I'm like so down to be part of something that has the most innovative equipment that you can imagine after printing 65,000 shirts a day. So I'm just stoked to talk to shops around the country, distributors around the country. Every day it's different shops I'm talking to, and it couldn't be more fun, from people that are struggling in their garage manually printing to your large automated shops that are outputting, hundreds of thousands of units. Everyone has a story, and I'm really stoked to be a part of it. So.
We're really stoked to have you on the team, especially since you've ran in the same circles for so long now. You're going to have to teach me some things. Yeah. Like, give me all the dirt.
Oh, I've got dirt.
Okay. Next podcast. You heard that, yes. Ross. Okay.
Ross.
Good. Right. All right. Well, before we dive into much further stuff, we'll have a quick commercial break and then come back with these amazing winners of the Women in Screen Printing Awards second annual award show, which was so much fun. And we'll be having a video come out in the next couple of weeks to give you a recap if you weren't able to join us. But until then, we'll be right back. Great news, ROQ Nation. For a limited time, your new ROQ Sahara conveyor dryer that features independent conveyor split belt control and enhanced airflow currently comes with a new and improved Stampinator included. Whether water-based, plastisol, or digital, you're ready to stamp, cure, and add special effects and dry like the pros. Rock your way online at roq.us or call 187-ROCKET now. That's 877-674-8669. Welcome back to Rock Shop Talk, your one-stop rock shop where we discuss all things screen printing. Today, we're here with some of the awesome winners of the second annual Women in Screen Printing Awards. Thank you for joining us. We're here with Marj Easterling, Brandi Schieber, Iris Sautier, Jessica Tiffery, and Adrienne Palmer, and our own Nicole Pape. Thank you for being here. We're going to pick up right back on our conversation. However, during the break, there was some really good information that was shared. So I'm just going to interject that right here.
Where we've been talking about that a little bit, that we are going to focus a little bit, at least screen printing's involvement with ROQ and impressions will be a bit focused on the mentorship project that we did this year, which I would love for you all to be involved in 2022 if you're looking to be a mentor. So that's
trying to learn.
Focus. What'd you say?
I said I was trying to learn. I don't feel like I'm prepared to mentor anybody yet.
You could be a mentee. The age range and the experience level has ranged for both. So we've got people who are like super young and only been in the business a couple of years who are mentoring. So, any way you want it. But yeah, that would be great if we could get everyone together, even for a drink or dinner or something, some little reunion.
Definitely down to mentor. I taught screen printing classes for years at Ryanette. So just that, and then just business wise too, running COGS, KPI and screen printing. Like I love doing that kind of stuff.
I need to pick your brain. I want to talk with you.
Sounds good.
Nicole, what is your official role with ROQ or your title?
My official title is account executive. But yeah, that's my official title.
Are you just bouncing around to different shops? And
yeah, I'm working remote actually, which is awesome. So I'm not necessarily going into the shops. I'm talking to them. I'm setting them up with the right kind of solution for their shop. And then I'll be traveling, talking with distributors. So I'll be in Los Angeles, going to McLogan soon. I'll be in Texas, going to Reese. So I'll be going around trying to also train the distributors on automation and ROQ so they can, train people coming in their door every day, because they've got people that need ink and screen opener and all that stuff that, maybe are looking for that next step. So that's my role, is being like kind of a facilitator of all that.
And now we're good. All right. Back to where we were. Adrienne, I want to shift the conversation to you for a bit. You've been a part of the Women in Screen Printing Awards from day one. Can you share how this all came about, how it's evolved, any insights you'd like to share on where you'd like to take the awards to progress forward? And then what advice would you give to next year's nominees and what have you learned from combing through all these nominees throughout the years? And I know I gave you a lot to answer, so by all means, in any particular order at your leisure.
Yeah, you may have to ask me those questions again.
I got you.
No, that's great. So 6 years ago, my former boss at Big Picture magazine, Robin Donovan, just a couple months before she transferred to another magazine and I took on the role of editor-in-chief, she decided, after both of us kind of seeing this need to recognize female leaders in the wide format space, to launch formerly the Women in Print Awards, now the Women in Wide Format Awards. So that was 6 years ago. And we really just wanted this award to, elevate the conversation and bring together a network of women, but also, include our male allies as well. So that has been a success. And I think in the wide format space, it really sparked this conversation and movement that was needed. And at different events, we've been able to announce the awards and have panels and just have a lot of conversations and acknowledgement of women in the industry, because that just wasn't happening. So when I joined screen printing in 2019, I decided that we should have this award for this industry as well, because I just kept seeing so many amazing women doing incredible things in their business. So we launched with 2020 and just awesome response. So many nominations came flooding in. I know it was very difficult for our editorial advisory board to narrow it down to 6. And so, yeah, we had our awards last year. They were virtual because of the pandemic. Actually, last year, the T-shirt that was designed, it was printed by Brandi at Downtown Threads, which is so great. This year, because we did the awards in person in Fort Worth at the Made Lab launch party, we ended up printing just in their new facility. I'm actually wearing my shirt now, my women
nice
shirt. I think
I've got mine on standby.
Way to show it off than me pulling my shirt up. But yeah, awesome design by Jeremy Picker and then printed at the event, which I know, Merrill, you mentioned that we will be showcasing a video recap, which I'm excited to see. We'll put that in the October-November, or I'm sorry, is that correct? Yes, October-November digital edition of Screen Printing magazine. Speaking of the magazine, you can read all about the current winners in this last issue, the August-September issue of the digital edition, as well as the website screenprintingmag.com. You can read about the 2020 winners there as well. But it's so great to be on this podcast, learning even more about you all and just hearing some of those different details of your background that maybe we didn't capture in the feature. Okay, so that's about the awards. I think the second question was, where do we want this to go? And maybe some feedback for nominations next year. The first thing is that the ladies who are in this this network, you're growing your business, you're growing your knowledge, you're growing your connections just by being part of this. And I think the winners last year would say the same thing. You now have someone to go to from, in Canada or in Virginia, if you're looking for, help in any sort of way. Now you have this instant connection. And you can get that on a board, you can get that on different things, but having that connection that's also the same gender as you, it really elevates that, I think. So hopefully you're gaining a lot just by being part of this. I also just the conversations that we've been having, and I know with ROQ, we've been doing a lot of this with our diversity and inclusion webinars and the Women in Screen Printing podcast last year, just having these conversations and then taking it another step forward. What can we do to change and make sure that there's equality throughout the industry? So what are you doing at your booth? What are you doing within your business? What are you doing at events? What are you doing in conversations? How are you training your employees? It's these bigger conversations that we have to have. And I think, at least in the wide format space, and I'm hoping in the screen printing space too, that having these awards is just like that stepping stone to a bigger change that's needed in the industry.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you have any advice for next year's nominees or future any one of these types of awards? How they can stand out, how they can make their award mean the most for their trajectory?
Yeah, that's tough because, well, okay, I will say this. It's tough only because I think every single nominee is worthy of the award. You read these nomination forms and you're just like, oh my gosh, they're doing this. It's really cool to see. But if you are nominating someone, which will probably start next June, if you don't know the answer to a question, I'm probably going to I don't have as much time to reach out as I maybe did in the past because there's so many of the forms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like put in an email for someone who might know, or try to put in some follow-up. What I can do and what I will do is for the editorial advisory board members who judge, they get the nomination form, but they also get all like, let's say I'll add an Instagram link, I'll add anything on Google that I found. So for example, some of these women had YouTube videos or interviews with people. I posted that there. Last year, Tracy Johnston Allworth, the winner, has a Wikipedia page. So,
Nice.
yeah, I always go in and try to find as much information on the shop and the person that I can to really round out this nomination form. But if you do that for me in your nomination form, that would be amazing as well.
Good information.
Yeah. So, but I guess a roundabout way of saying this is, even if you don't know a ton about the person, okay, this is a great example. Christine Shreve nominated Marj. Marj had a couple nominations, so it helped that there was more information to back her up. But Christine was like, I really don't know a ton about Marj, but I keep seeing her do this. So I'm just going to nominate her. Do that, because there might be other nominations already in the batch with that person, or I can kind of do my research to bulk up that nomination form.
Very good. And that's pretty freaking rad, Marj. Congratulations. Yeah. And obviously, I mean,
yeah, I was quite humbled, actually. It was pretty amazing.
That's wonderful. Wow. Well, during the break, we discussed a little bit of the concept of mentorship, and I wanted to just have a quick roundabout conversation on that topic. How do you define, each of you, how do you define what makes a mentor a great mentor? Maybe share an experience from your life, what has helped you, and other things to look out for mentors, because not all mentors are meant for all of us. So any particular anecdotes that ring loudly for you, please share those. And overall, how can we help as ROQ US? How can we support the mentorship thing further? And I know that the magazine has the mentorship program. That's a good way to introduce that. Why don't you tell people, the audience, like how they can be involved in that, and then everyone else can pipe in.
Sure. Yeah. So Screen Printing Magazine launched the mentorship project this year, and it's a 6-month match program between a mentor and a mentee. And each month you meet with your mentor or mentee, and you're matched based on either the skills that the mentor has, and the skills or the goals that the mentee has. You're also kind of tried to be based on region. So post-pandemic, or when you're trying to, when you feel comfortable, maybe you can meet in person versus virtually. But the first year wraps up this month. We've had really great reviews and successes. But it is not, Merrill, as you mentioned, not everyone is meant to be your mentor, maybe for someone else. In the beginning, we did have some people reach out and say, so-and-so really doesn't have the skills that I need, that I'm looking to grow my business. Okay. So we match that person with someone else. Instant connection, has worked flawlessly. And so that's what we try to do. We don't just say, that's what it's going to be for the next 6 months. We really work toward making sure that this is successful. opportunity, because what I love about the screen printing industry is that there are no closed doors. Everyone is willing to share information and make the other person better. At least that's what I've witnessed in the couple years that I've been around. So yeah, and I think mentorship is just really, really important for many reasons. And the last thing I have to say is that I mentioned in the break that a lot of the mentors are reaching out to me saying, I'm actually learning more from my mentee. So it's mutually beneficial.
Indeed. That's a very, very valuable thing that we all need to hear. What do you think, all of you, what do you think is the most effective way outside of a program like Adrienne's to approach a mentor and to kind of continuously check in to make sure it is a partnership? Because I feel like the most, at least in my life, the most impactful mentors have been ones that we're both giving, we're both receiving, and it's a total alignment thing. Any insights that you'd like to share with that?
I can say something to it about the mentorship situation. I didn't realize that Christine had nominated me. And what was amazing about that is that I feel like she's such a strong mentor for women in business and women in this industry. So the fact that she nominated me just blew my mind. I'm a lifelong learner, and I think any entrepreneur is a lifelong learner. You have to be to stay relevant and to keep your business moving. So it's just interesting. I never really look at it as who can I mentor. It's always like, who can I learn from? And Allie has been a tremendous mentor to me accidentally, because she and I have become really good friends. And so we have this like mastermind group that she started with several people across the country in screen printing. And we learn from each other. And I always feel like I'm the one that's learning from everybody else. But it's amazing how much they learn from me. And I don't even realize that I'm sharing things that they hadn't thought of. So I think that that give and take and that helping each other out is a better way to describe like my mentor-mentee mentality, because I never feel like I'm knowledgeable enough at anything to be an expert and share with people. I don't know if anybody else has that. It's almost like imposter syndrome, but we won't go there. But you know what I mean? Like I always feel like I have so much more to learn. I'm this perpetual student, and I don't feel like I've mastered enough to be able to tell somebody else what to do. Not that that's what a mentor does, but if that makes sense.
I feel the same way. I feel like I came into this industry literally with no knowledge of anything. I mean, I wasn't even a t-shirt snob then, and now I am. But like I didn't know, and I still feel like when I go to the impression shows and all these things that are meant to be a place that we can learn, and I still feel like I'm like, ooh, I hate to ask this because it's stupid, or I hate to ask questions just for that. But it's a networking, and I've made a commitment myself to try to go to 2 or 3, Print Hustler or whatever, impression shows, all those things, so I can learn. Because when I come home, like my ideas go crazy. It's like I get in a rut where I can't do anything. And then I meet, all of you girls or whoever, and they do something a little bit different. I'm like, man, I didn't think of that. Or, I think it's, in order to grow, you have to keep learning. And if you're not growing, you're dying. And, I like that we have this network and, people we can reach out to, and, Ross and Ryan were huge for me. Cause I didn't know anybody, and they're like, hey, come and look at our machine. And I bought a machine, and here we are. So, I feel like when, the ROQ this movement is like a family, and I feel like you can reach out to anyone at any given day, and they're like, you need to do this. Marj, she's like, come on, buddy. And so it just, I don't know. I love it. I think it's awesome because we can learn from one another. So.
Well said.
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally agree. And I think, Nicole, having you on here is really cool because you're a wealth of knowledge. And I personally am really excited to reach out and pick your brain and just get some of your experience. And then I think we should also remember, aside from mentorship in our industry and amongst colleagues, is what we can do outside of our industry. So for instance, we partner with a local high school and we have interns come in, and they come in for about an hour and a half every day. 4 days a week. And for us, it's such a cool industry especially for high schoolers. They're like, gosh, this is rad. Like, you can make all this merch and it's so cool. But I personally think it's our responsibility to teach them not only industry and life skills and work skills, but just how to be a good human and, teach them compassion and welcome into our little family. Our entire industry is like a family. So I think all of our shops are like that too. So I think we make a bigger impact than we realize by just partnering with young kids and just getting them some skills, whether they get into this industry or not. It's just really valuable life skills that they're learning. And then we also partner with the school to work on their little business department. And our local school, we're stoked. They're actually forming a merchandising class. So it's a business class, but it's all about merchandising. So we're helping them with their direct to garment and just teaching them heat pressing, some wide format stuff, which isn't really my wheelhouse, but we're just kind of helping and mentoring the kids here in our shop. And then they're going back and teaching their class and even their teachers. Like, it's a really cool program. So just a good reminder to know that we can make a bigger impact than we actually think or realize.
That's really great. I love that. And, thank you for even mentioning me, but you and Marj, just hearing that, it resonates with me, because really, to me, when mentorship is done right, or when you feel like it's being done right, it feels like a good synergy, and it's kind of more of an intuitive collaboration, and you don't even realize that you're, I actually met a woman at ISS a few years ago, at a morning women in printing breakfast, I think it was called, or something. And it was all women that were in the industry. And I sat next to, a woman that was older than me, that I was like, oh man, she's awesome. She had all of this like gumption and cool stuff going on with her shop. And she thought that I was really cool. And she wanted to get mentorship from me. And so we started kind of holding each other accountable and meeting once a month. Now, she was in New York and I was in California. So we met via, Zoom and, just emailing back and forth. But it was really awesome, because realistically, she wanted to come to me to learn how to expand her business. And what I ended up really learning from her was relationship building, like 101, and how important networking is, and how important being able to lean on someone that you wouldn't expect can be. And that person, her name's Alex, she did a lot for me without even realizing. I don't even think she knows what she did for me. And that, to me, is true mentorship. And I think that all of the women here are fully more than capable and already doing that in their own shops, in their daily routine, without even knowing it. And I think it's really cool that, you think that you're learning so much from someone else, because you are, and yet you have so much expertise to be able to lay on other people and, I don't know, make it a really valuable experience. So even when Adrienne, when you were saying that, like, some mentors aren't meant to be mentors, I've also been there. Some people are just not vibing, and that's okay. Like, you don't need to have someone that, isn't going to propel you in the way that you feel that growth, that excitement, that urge inside you that something is really happening. And so I think, these women are awesome. I need to get mentorship from all of you.
That's great. I do have a question for Iris. Is it similar in Canada as far as the mentorship idea? And what would you recommend to people outside of where we're at?
Well, I think maybe the word mentor might scare some people off, like it's a very serious relationship. But I think mentoring it's maybe more just about not being afraid to ask whoever you think will have an answer for you, and can be many different people. And I really, each time I have a technical problem, I try to look for the answer. But if I don't have the answer, then I will just think who would be able maybe to give me an advice. And sometimes I ask different people. And I think that's mentorship without being, you know, very one-to-one, just one mentor and one mentoree relationship. I think for me, I have 2 or 3 different, very like mentor as such, because that's the people I always go to, but I also share a lot with my other fellow screen printers whenever I have a problem I cannot solve.
Nice.
So I don't know of any mentorship program as such, like with this title. It's really more just people exchanging freely.
Very cool. Well, to wrap up this part of the conversation, I would like to, first of all, ask Jessica, what have you learned so far from the Love Unstoppable movement? If you could sum that up for one thing, and then follow that up with another group answer on, there's a lot of wonderful resources available to assist women in business, but I would love to hear if any of you have any particular experience / passion with any specific ones that you would recommend people follow and check out, and that would be worth their time.
Hey, so I've learned an immense amount through the Love Unstoppable movement. From a business standpoint, it's been a huge learning curve to learn how to do subscription-based stuff. So it's one thing to run a traditional screen print and embroidery shop. It's another thing to do subscription models and deal with like reoccurring payments and all the shipments and all the fulfillment. It's definitely been a learning curve, but I think we're finally have it pretty streamlined and we're in a good position now. So I'm just grateful that we've kind of added that to our tool belt, and we've learned a lot about something that was totally new to us. You know, we all probably deal with web stores and different online stores, but it's a whole new ballgame when you're doing reoccurring charges and something that's, you know, subscription based. So that's been fun. It's been challenging and fun. And then just from a humanitarian and just a love standpoint, it's been really, really eye-opening to see what an impact it makes. I mean, just the messages and testimonials flooding in of, you know, I really needed this message, Jessica. I'm, you know, going through a divorce or whatever the case is. And this package shows up on their doorstep, and the logo that month just speaks to them so deeply that it picked them up out of a dark time. So just stuff like that, where people are like, oh my gosh, this message is incredible. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the shirt I'm wearing says, "We still have a dream." And it's like an MLK.
That's awesome.
So it's really all about just equality, being a good human, putting our differences aside, you know, Republican, Democrat, gay, straight, whatever, like, let's just be freaking good humans, you know? So I think oftentimes the packages are something that just really lift people up or remind them like, crap, like I really need to get it together and stop being judgmental or whatever the case is. So it's just cool. I've learned that we can actually make a big difference, and the stuff that we're doing is pretty impactful. So if anything, it's just been inspiring to me and humbling to know that it really is making a difference. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. And it's so beautiful, and love to have you be a part of the Unite Together movement and kind of align forces there. I think that there's a lot of possibility with those because we're talking about the same things.
I love that.
Awesome. Anyone else? Any specific resources that have helped you that you would recommend anyone else to check out?
I've got an organization that I stumbled across. I found I was looking on Facebook last year because I realized that there are specific challenges that we as women in business will run into. And I stumbled across this international organization called FEMCITY. And it's female entrepreneurs, and they're international, so they're everywhere. And I joined my local chapter, and they have been fantastic. They've got online courses for people just starting out, and it's every level. It starts off, you know, from the woman who's just starting up a side business all the way up to people who own brick and mortar. So it really has been a fabulous organization to be involved in. And I would recommend anybody starting out and looking for some support, go there first. The other thing is that we are SWAM certified. So that's something too that I'm pretty passionate about.
Excellent. Okay. And just for the record, please send me all of these links, and we'll be sure to include them in the description of the show. And forgive me, I think Brandi was about to say something.
Yeah. In Oklahoma, we have kind of I don't know that it necessarily women in particular business resources, but our tech schools here are amazing. And I work with their business department all the time on different things. They helped pay for training to go, like we went to Denver to a print shop up there and learned for 3 or 4 days, got to spend time with some really great screen printers. And then actually they're going to help us bring another guy to the shop to learn some things. And so they've been a great resource for us as far as, expensive training. They're going to pay a lot of money to help us get some training in here because, like I said earlier, I didn't know squat about anything, but I'm eager to learn. Like I want to learn, like I want to go. And that's something else, is visiting other print shops has been really helpful for me. Cause I'm like, oh, well, that's a good idea. How they, where they put their press and where they, how they package and do all the things. So just getting out and meeting people and, I would say for me, a big resource has been our tech schools. They've been great, very helpful, and they're willing to help you get the training you would need.
Love it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've always been able to rely on actually the employees. A lot of the employees that come into your facility are from complete different backgrounds, have experienced different things, and that kind of helps expand your mindset of where you can go and ideas you can do and innovate in your shop, which has been great. And then I also, for business wise, to really understand the overall, creating a healthy business that not only sustains but grows. I joined a Vistage group, which is across the country. You can join Vistage. They're small business to large business kind of mentorship organizations, and you can do different tiers based on where you're at in your company. And it's really just a bunch of entrepreneurs or a bunch of managers or just whatever level you're at, sitting down once a month and going over, sometimes you go over just your business with people that aren't in your industry. And it is like taking blinders off of things that you wouldn't have seen. So that's something I would highly recommend as well.
All right. We will be right back with the winners of the second annual Women in Screen Printing Awards. We will be right back. 1 minute is all it takes to access your free screen printing automation ready score and powerful resources to help you press onward. 1 minute that can change everything for the better. Get your free no obligation score today at rockus.club/auto ready score. That's ROQUS.club/auto ready score. Or call 187-ROCKET now. That's 877-674-8669. Welcome back to Rock Shop Talk, your one-stop rock shop where we talk all things screen printing. Today, we are here discussing an amazing event, an amazing effort and cause with the winners of the second annual Women in Screen Printing Awards. Thank you for being here. And we're going to like to pick up back the conversation on, we're talking about resources right before the break. And I kind of want to toss it over to you, Nicole, on just kind of talking about Women Rock, what you think about that and what we can do together, as well as the joining forces with Adrienne on these efforts and how people can become involved.
Well, Women Rock is, that's it. Women rock, period. You don't even need to own a rock to rock, just women in general,
Amen.
Whether you
Amen.
are,
Like
any women. But also you've got women that are out there printing and have multiple kids and have to run them around to karate and soccer and still, still get their businesses done. And that's awesome. And that's under highlighted in our industry. Women work so hard. And so with Women Rock, when I was approached by ROQ to help kind of represent this movement, it was extremely fulfilling and exciting to me. With my experience, it's just something that I'm like, I know I'm on a path, I know I'm on a trajectory, but what is that path? I love helping people and I love connecting. And so to be able to connect with women that are in this industry that tends to be, and I love all the men out there, but it tends to be a little bit male dominated for us, will help highlight that. And so we do have a Facebook page. hashtag Women Rock, ROQ. And we would love to have, more followers, more integration with that, hopefully looking to do events in 2022, webinars, seminars, and aligning efforts with Adrienne at Screen Printing Magazine, and just really kind of emphasizing why women rock.
Anything you'd like to add to that, Adrienne?
Excited. There's so much that we can do for women in the industry, and I think this is a really good platform for it. I think women are always looking for either a group on Facebook to join, or an event to go to, or some kind of resource. And if we can all package it together and provide all of those things for women in the industry, the opportunities are endless for what we can accomplish, and hopefully be there for women in all the ways, so that they can grow their businesses and also grow personally, and professionally. So happy to be involved.
Thank you for being a part of it. Both of you are going to be critical. All of you involved are critical. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to support and be a cheerleader for this. And any way we can continue to do that, whether it's been discussed yet or not, by all means, reach out and we're here for you. The next part of this is something I'd love to hear, like each of you, what does winning this award mean? What does the nomination mean? And what forms of demonstrations of allyship mean the most to you, that impacts your life in a positive way? Marj, would you like to go first?
Oh, of course I would. Let me formulate something.
Okay.
Actually, it really was such a surprise to me. And my first reaction was that they had the wrong person, or they obviously don't know me like you guys do. But and then when I got to the awards party and the ceremony and everything, and I realized the respect that everyone had for the winners and the criteria, then I was just so humbled and grateful to be included, because it really is a remarkable set of women that I'm included in. I still think they have the wrong person, but that's okay. I'm working through that. And I do hope that this award will show other women starting out that they can do the same things that we've done, that it's okay if you don't have, a partner to help you, babysit the kids. My kids are so sick of the shop since they've been here every day since they were a baby or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can still do this. It's all doable. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I'm just grateful to be included.
It's lovely.
I think women are so hard on themselves, and I think we're our worst critic. And for someone to say, you know what, you do kick ass. And I think for me, it was kind of, I don't know. It's so exciting that, that they chose you girls to be a part of this, and that, all the work and the sweat and the tears and the, all the things, chasing the kids from one event to the other, this makes it all worth it. It's really cool. And I have 3 daughters. And so for them to see, I'm going to get emotional, but for them to see, what their mom has done and what they could do, if they just put their mind to it. So anyway, it means a lot to me, and I was very humbled. So
it's wonderful.
Yeah, I think also sometimes you're not always taken seriously by everyone. Sometimes people are just, oh yeah, you're just doing t-shirts, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm into arts. My screen printing business is more centered toward printing for artists, illustrators. So a lot of people are just like, yeah, okay, that's cute, but that's not really serious. And is that a real business anyway? And so I guess getting the award is a little bit is very comforting, because it's kind of acknowledging that what you're doing is not just fun and easy. And I think it forces some respect from certain people who didn't necessarily consider that as something very serious and hard, also because it's not easy to get where we've been. So yeah, that was certainly very nice to be acknowledged that way.
That's awesome. How about how about you, Jessica?
I agree with Iris. It's kind of cool from just a respect standpoint. I don't think I'm any more deserving than any other female in this industry. Like we're all doing really cool stuff. But I think just from almost a confidence standpoint, because it is a man's world, it's just nice to have this network and have a little bit more confidence in ourselves and amongst each other to approach those, older men that have been doing this for 40 years or, whatever the case is. It can be a bit intimidating, especially when you're new to the industry. So it's just a really cool network and a really cool confidence booster. So I personally appreciate what Adrienne's doing and Nicole and you, Merrill and ROQ and Ross and Ryan. Like you guys bridging the gap is just phenomenal. It's so cool. And I honestly was just honored to be a part of that. Not so much the award, but just the camaraderie and the respect and the confidence that comes along with it. So thank you guys.
Thank you. The honor is ours for sure, or shared with you. Thank you for that. And regarding the allyship, is there any insights that any of you have for women or non-women to better support you in your day-to-day? Is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you would like to say?
I think on a day-to-day, having people like Nicole that we can resource is really, really powerful. So if we get stuck in something that we're kind of beating our head against the wall about, I personally would like to see more about leadership and, when you go to these ISS shows and stuff, I would like to take classes on how to manage people and, retention, just things that, things that are really truly your day to day, building a good chemistry and that sort of stuff. Because I think we're all at the end of the day, probably pretty darn good printers and we're all learning together, but there's a lot more to the business, obviously.
Team building, culture. Yeah, 100% what you're saying, Jessica. Culture is a byproduct of consistent behavior, and that is not taught to almost any of us. It just kind of happens to us. And so, in your businesses, being able to bridge the gap between carpet and concrete and being that like fuse for culture is huge. I mean, it'll repay you tenfold in not just monetarily, but in the efforts of your team. And I think that's, I don't know, it's really, there are things that are overlooked because we're all going for the technical knowledge on water base or how to print that foil or get that, sim process job right. But you're not taught necessarily how to manage your staff or how to uplift someone that's having a bad day, or how to make sure that when you have multiple different departments, you don't have team members that have animosity towards other team members in different departments. Like those are all nuances of the business that no one talks about, but it's very real. So I agree with you. More of those kind of classes at ISS or any convention can be a huge asset to both men and women.
Exactly. Excellent. So I nominate Nicole Pape to teach that at ISS this year.
Thank you. I will, if they have me.
Those are things that we'll cover in future issues of screen printing.
And Women ROQ events.
Exactly.
Because we don't have to wait for a show for that. We can have an ongoing thing that and by all means, if you're listening, if you have any ideas for that you would love to be addressed in that group, send it in, comment, have the conversation in the group, and let's get everybody's like democratically voted thing and we'll get it in. Now you've been so generous with your time. We want to honor that, respect that. Thank you so much. I would love to have everybody's final thoughts. If you had the chance to give our audience one thing to learn about you and or your brand, what would it be? And what topics would you like discussed on the future episodes of ROQ Shop Talk? Or is it the same as the last answer?
I think Jessica just gave a laundry list. And Brandi.
Do that. Yeah. But I mean, do you want the same thing on this show? Because I'm totally open to that.
I think it would be great to talk about that on the show.
Okay.
For sure. And I think there's so much we can cover: culture,
right?
Teamwork, retention, just all the behind the scenes stuff that really is the most important stuff.
Okay, Nicole, we got work to do. Good stuff.
Less about the actual printing and the screens and all the technical stuff of printing and more of the business side.
Okay.
Because I mean, a lot of people are great artists and can do all that thing, but like myself, we struggle with the business portion.
Copy that.
Also on that note, yeah, if you guys could bring on experts, tax experts, accountants, of little workarounds in the business, things that we might be missing, things that if we're not claiming losses or whatever it is, like little tips and tricks behind the business would be really helpful.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Accounts receivable.
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about that.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's very helpful. That's very good. Okay. So how can people follow you? One thing about you or your brand, each of you go, no particular order. Let's start with Iris, please.
Special about us, I think there's no such thing as we can't do it. Like a lot of people call us and say, I heard we can't do that. And we're like, of course we can.
I love that.
Just never worry. Just ask and we'll let you know how we can do it.
Nice.
Or if someone else can do it, if we can't. But we can do a lot.
Nice. And how where can people follow you online?
Everywhere. So my name is so weird that it's quite easy to find me. Type in just screen printing Montreal or Serigraphie Montreal, and I'm everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and website, of course.
Very good.
High up on Google, so it's easy to find.
Okay, Miss Tillery.
Jessica Tillery. You can follow me through All Quality Graphics or through our passion project Loom, the Love Unstoppable Movement. It's LU_movement on Instagram. And I'll just leave you with our mantra, which is love God, love people, love life. Love is unstoppable.
Cheers to that. Okay. Ms. Schieber.
You can follow us at Downtown Threads. Okay. That's on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. I'm on Facebook, Instagram personally. I don't know that we really like the way our business is so different than most. I mean, we're schools and we do, we're the biggest screen print shop in our city. So I don't know. We really don't have I don't know.
What's a Brandi fun fact?
Oh, geez. Brandi can do anything. Brandi bakes. Brandi does all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. I chase kids. That's what I do.
I will say one thing that I really enjoyed, and I'm not sure if you do this for everyone, but when I received my women's screen printing shirt last year, I had a little note from Brandi and her team. And it was so personal and it was such a nice touch. It was just a special, that's what you're doing, that's special, adding that little extra. Mm-hmm. It made me feel connected to you, even though I had not even met you at the time.
Yeah. And I just wanted people to know where their shirt came from. That we weren't just some random, printer somewhere. Like it was actually made with love, I guess.
It's that lanyard, right, Miss Easterling?
It is that lanyard.
Very good. And where can people follow you? And another fun fact from the fairy godmother herself.
Oh, I have so many fun facts. We're just a small family business. My oldest son is our production manager. My cousin comes in to help every now and then. My niece reclaims screens. My youngest son will show up, much to his dismay, half the time. And we just treat everybody like family. All of our customers are like family, and that's just us. We're all Ohana, I guess. But you can find me all over all of the social medias: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. The only thing I'm not on is Snapchat, because I don't want to turn my face into a puppy dog. But I'm all over everything else. So y'all
Very
find
good.
me.
Awesome. Adrienne.
Yeah, you can find screen printing. The website is screenprintingmag.com. All of our digital editions are there. We update the website every single day with new content that will help you grow your business. Also some fun stuff that's just within the industry. We're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, Screen Print Mag. I'm on Twitter, Adrienne_screen. So you'll be able to find us, and we have a podcast, webinars, awards, all kinds of stuff going on. The digital edition is awesome. Make sure you check it out because we've done a lot of fun new things. So yeah.
Excellent. And thankfully our own Nicole Pape. Tell us about you. Where can people follow you? Fun fact, and what one thing you want us to learn about you?
Oh God. Okay. If you want to learn something fun about me, I don't know if it's fun. I broke my face in 22 places, and I have 3 plates and 6 screws right here. So got that, which gave me trigeminal neuralgia. Another fun fact, not fun.
Wow.
And I also have a 4-year-old son that keeps me insanely busy, but grew up, in a shop. As an infant, I was nursing him while managing presses all night long. So he loved the hum of all of the machines. So that was awesome. You can find me at here, really, part of ROQ. So ROQ.us. You can also find me personally on Instagram at Nikki ROQ. I just created that last night, and I have no followers yet. So go follow me, and I'll create content for you.
And that's two Ks?
Yes.
2 Ks. Okay.
My maiden last name was Hilton, so I'm used to being called Nikki Hilton. So still a remnants of that. I'm sorry. And yeah, I hope to be part of more of these podcasts and be around with the ROQ crew and all of you.
Phenomenal.
Can I add to my fun fact?
Yes, please.
We farm and ranch in Oklahoma. So we have cattle and so I live on a farm. My husband does all that and I do the screen printing. So we have cows and horses and all the things.
To stay in Oklahoma if we come to your house.
Do what?
I love to go horseback riding. Fun fact about me.
Come on.
My
One of my daughter's rodeos. So yeah, we do all the fun things. So yeah, that's my fun fact.
Okay.
I didn't think about it.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. It is a huge honor for us to be able to support and to celebrate you in any way that we could do that more. If any way that occurs to you, you know how to find me, you know how to find us, but not just the people who are on this podcast, whoever's listening, our ears are open all the time. Our arms are open to you all the time. Please reach out. We are happy to do anything we can to continue to support your success as your partner in print. Thank you. Press onward. And until next time, cheers to the women in screen printing and the women who won the Women in Screen Printing Awards. Cheers. Rock on.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you, Merrill.
Love it. Thank you. Humble thanks and congratulations to the nominees and winners of the 2nd Annual Women in Screen Printing Awards for joining us today. As always, thank you for spending time with us this week, and thank you for trusting us as your partner in print. Tune in at your convenience wherever you listen to your podcasts by searching ROQ Shop Talk. If you'd like to request to be on the show, please visit roq.us/ROQ Shop Talk. If you found today's episode helpful, please recommend it to a friend who you think may find it helpful as well. Please like, share, and subscribe on social media. And until next time, rockers, press onward.